Microexpressions are among the smallest and most revealing signals the human body produces. They appear in fractions of a second, often before a person has time to choose what to show. Words can be shaped. Sentences can be edited. Social behavior can be rehearsed. But emotion moves faster than control, and the face often reacts before the mind can organize performance. This is why microexpressions have become one of the most fascinating subjects in behavioral psychology. They are not dramatic displays. They are brief emotional flashes, tiny movements around the eyes, the brows, the mouth, that leak through the surface of composure. Most people never notice them consciously, yet the brain registers them. Humans are built to read faces. Long before language, the face was a survival map. It told our ancestors who was angry, who was afraid, who was safe, who was unpredictable. That ancient sensitivity still operates today, even in modern conversations. When something feels off in an interaction, it is often because the emotional signals do not match the words. A person may say they agree, yet their face tightens. A person may say they are fine, yet sadness briefly passes through their eyes. A person may smile, yet the smile never reaches the muscles around the eyes. These mismatches create psychological tension because the mind is always scanning for coherence. Trust is built when signals align. Uncertainty grows when they do not. Microexpressions are not proof of deception. They are proof of emotion. They tell you that something is happening inside, not necessarily why it is happening. Fear can appear because someone is anxious, not guilty. Anger can appear because someone feels threatened, not dishonest. The face reveals feeling, not verdict. This is why emotional literacy matters more than suspicion. To notice microexpressions is not to accuse. It is to observe. It is to recognize that humans often experience more than they can comfortably express. Social life requires masks. People learn early that some emotions are unsafe to display. Anger may be punished. Sadness may be judged. Fear may be seen as weakness. So the adult self becomes skilled at regulation. But regulation does not erase emotion. It compresses it, and compressed emotion leaks. It leaks through posture, through tone, through timing, and through the smallest facial movements. Microexpressions often appear at the edges of emotional conflict, when someone feels something that contradicts what they want to present. A person may want to appear confident while feeling uncertain. A person may want to appear supportive while feeling resentment. A person may want to appear calm while feeling pressure. In those moments, the face becomes a brief confession. Consider the core emotional categories that tend to appear universally. Surprise opens the face quickly. Eyebrows lift. Eyes widen. Then disappears as the mind catches up. Fear widens the eyes as if the body is preparing for danger, often paired with tension in the mouth. Anger pulls the brows downward and tightens the face, signaling resistance. Disgust lifts the upper lip in a moment of rejection. Sadness softens the face, lowering energy, creating a subtle collapse around the eyes. Happiness, the most socially welcomed expression, has its own distinction. Genuine joy engages the eyes, while forced positivity often stays only at the mouth. These expressions are brief, but they shape perception. They influence how conversations unfold. They affect whether someone feels safe, respected, understood. Microexpressions are part of a larger system of nonverbal communication, which includes gestures, posture, voice tone, and silence. Humans communicate on multiple channels at once. The spoken channel carries information. The emotional channel carries state. The relational channel carries power and distance. Often, the emotional channel is the one people remember. They may forget the exact words, but they remember the atmosphere. They remember whether someone felt warm or cold, open or guarded. Microexpressions contribute to that atmosphere in quiet ways. This is why emotionally intelligent people often listen with their eyes as much as their ears. They notice when a person's face shifts at a certain topic. They notice the brief tightening that signals discomfort. They notice the fleeting softness that signals vulnerability. This awareness changes the depth of communication. It allows you to respond not only to sentences, but to the human experience beneath them. And it also reminds you of something humbling. Your own face is speaking too. Your microexpressions shape how others perceive you, often without either of you realizing it. A flash of impatience can create distance. A moment of warmth can create trust. The face is always part of the conversation. Emotional life is not only spoken, it is shown. And once you begin noticing the hidden language of microexpressions, you begin to understand that much of human truth lives in the smallest moments, in the brief signals that appear before words arrive. Microexpressions become most meaningful when we see how they operate in real life, because human interaction is rarely simple. In everyday conversations, people are constantly balancing what they feel with what they believe they should show. This is why emotional signals often appear in fragments. In a workplace setting, for example, a manager may praise an employee while briefly showing impatience or frustration in the eyes. The words communicate support, but the emotional undercurrent communicates pressure. An employee may agree enthusiastically while a flicker of fear crosses the face, revealing anxiety about expectations. These moments are not dramatic, but they shape relationships over time. They influence whether trust grows or whether tension quietly accumulates. In social environments, microexpressions often appear around status, belonging, and insecurity. A person may laugh at a joke, while a flash of contempt or discomfort appears for a split second. A person may pretend confidence while their face briefly reveals uncertainty. These signals are part of the social nervous system. Humans are always monitoring where they stand, how they are perceived, whether they are safe inside the group. In intimate relationships, microexpressions can be even more powerful because emotional stakes are higher. A partner may say, "It's okay," while disappointment passes through the face. A partner may claim they are not upset, while anger tightens a jaw. Over time, the unspoken emotional reality becomes more influential than the spoken reassurance. Many conflicts do not begin with harsh words. They begin with emotional mismatch, with feelings that are not acknowledged, with micro-signals that are sensed but never addressed. This is why learning to notice microexpressions can deepen empathy. It helps you recognize when someone is carrying something they cannot easily articulate. But this is also where the greatest misunderstanding occurs. People often assume microexpressions are a tool for detecting lies. They imagine that noticing a flicker of fear means someone is guilty, or that a flash of discomfort means deception. This is not what microexpressions truly offer. Emotion is not evidence of dishonesty. Emotion is evidence of experience. Fear can appear because someone feels judged. Anger can appear because someone feels misunderstood. Disgust can appear because someone is overwhelmed. Sadness can appear because someone is remembering something painful. The face reveals the presence of feeling, not the moral meaning of that feeling. Interpreting microexpressions requires humility, context, and restraint. The danger is not in observation. The danger is uncertainty. Human emotion is complex. A single facial flash cannot explain a full story. Microexpressions are clues, not conclusions. They invite awareness, not accusation. When used responsibly, they enhance understanding. When used arrogantly, they become projection. Another important truth is that microexpressions are not always hidden because people are manipulative. Often they are hidden because people are human. Most individuals are not consciously lying. They are regulating. They are trying to stay composed. They are trying to protect dignity. They are trying to avoid vulnerability. Social life demands control, and control demands suppression. Microexpressions are the cost of suppression. They are the moment the nervous system speaks before the social mask returns. This is why the study of microexpressions is ultimately the study of emotional tension. The tension between what we feel and what we show. So, how does one become better at noticing these signals without becoming paranoid or judgmental? The first step is slowing down attention. Most people listen only for content. They focus on words. But emotional perception requires presence. It requires noticing the face at moments of emotional shift, especially when topics become sensitive. The second step is learning the basic patterns of universal expressions, not as rigid rules, but as familiar shapes. Fear tends to widen the eyes. Anger tends to tighten the brow. Contempt often appears asymmetrically. Disgust often lifts the upper lip. Surprise opens the face briefly. Sadness lowers energy around the eyes. Happiness engages the muscles around the eyes when genuine. The third step is context. An expression means nothing without the situation surrounding it. A person showing fear during a job interview is normal. A person showing fear when asked a simple factual question may suggest pressure. Context transforms interpretation. The fourth step is ethical awareness. Microexpressions should never be used as a weapon. They should not become a way to dominate others or claim certainty about hidden motives. The healthiest use is compassion, recognizing emotional reality, responding with sensitivity, and allowing people space to be complex. Sometimes the most powerful response to a microexpression is not confrontation, but gentleness. Not interrogation, but patience. Because what the face reveals is often not deception, but vulnerability. And finally, there is the personal dimension. Microexpressions remind us that we, too, are transparent in small ways. Our faces reveal fatigue, irritation, warmth, fear, longing. Even when we believe we are hiding, we are communicating. This awareness can make us more careful, more honest, more emotionally responsible. It can encourage alignment between what we say and what we feel, reducing the internal conflict that produces leakage. In the end, microexpressions are not a trick. They are a reminder of something fundamental. Human beings are emotional organisms living inside social structures. We speak, but we also signal. We perform, but we also leak. We try to control, but emotion moves first. The face is not simply decoration. It is a living interface between the inner world and the outer world. And when you learn to notice the smallest expressions, you begin to see the quiet truth of human interaction. That beneath every conversation, there is an emotional reality unfolding in real time, faster than language, deeper than performance, and impossible to fully hide.